What is Alzheimer's?
Alzheimer's is something very sad to have.
Alzheimer's is when it's different than dementia in the fact that you just start forgetting.
It's a disease that affects millions of people around the world.
Alzheimer's is a mental illness that affects your brain.
Alzheimer's is a disease under the dementia umbrella. So dementia, you know, the main disease, and then Alzheimer's is a disease underneath that. It's like, you know, if you have cancer, then there's like, you know, all the different kinds of cancer. There's dementia, there's all kinds of disease under the dementia, and Alzheimer's is one of them. So, you know, really affects your brain, and very interesting, but the brain of someone with Alzheimer's becomes like someone that has been alcoholic for all their lives. You know, their brain kind of like shrinks, and that's the same thing that happens with someone with dementia. You know, their brain shrinks.
You start forgetting, like, not just how to, like, memories, but you start forgetting how to eat, how to walk, how to breathe, and it's pretty serious.
It is a disease that can be a bit humiliating. You know, people has to change you, do your diapers and things like this. So, and as well can be frightening too, because you know, take away a lot of security. You know, you don't feel secure.
It's kind of like living with a kid, where you have to baby them and make sure they're doing everything.
I'm visiting my mother-in-law, Josefa. Josefa, she's been suffering from Alzheimer's since she was about 70, above 70. And it started intensifying little by little. I think when I noticed for sure, she was about 75, but my wife says she noticed before. And the way I noticed that she was struggling was in a very unusual way. So when we have leftover vegetables, we put in a little Tupperware. So she went to the refrigerator and she took those cooked vegetables and she started washing them. And I say that's quite unusual, you know, a person that's been cooking for so long is washing cooked vegetables. You know, that's unusual. And that's when I noticed myself.
The hardest thing for me has been being able to see that person as more than just a body and actually treat it like I would my grandmother.
Realizing that you need help, realizing that you're going to need to go to the doctor, you're going to need to put them on some type of medication that you normally might not be okay with, and you might need another helper.
It's a very hard disease to care for, because a lot of times you get in denial. The people caring for that person, you know, gets into denial because the person looks perfect. You look at that person and they don't have, you know, you only have sign of aging, but you really don't have any other signs.
A family that takes care of a dear ones at home suffers twice as much as a caregiver that does privately. A caregiver that does privately comes, takes care of it, and goes.
You can have someone with Alzheimer's live for about another 15-20 years, but you could also have someone get Alzheimer's and die in the next 2 weeks.
You just have to have a lot of patience with these people, because basically they become little kids, they become little babies, and they depend on you.
First, you start with the small, the short memory, the short-term memory. They forget, for example, what they ate yesterday, or you know, what they did yesterday, or where is the keys for their cars, or things, little things, you know, and that's how it starts. And then from when it stops affecting, well, it doesn't stop affecting, but, you know, eventually start affecting your long-term memory too. You know, and then when you talk about long-term memory, you're talking like about something that happened last year, okay, or something that happened 6 years ago, and eventually will happen that they will forget what happened 20, 30 years ago. So it's little by little. You know, that's really what you know, how the disease works on people's brain.
I think first and foremost you have to remember that that's not them. You know, if she can be really aggressive. All people with Alzheimer's can be really aggressive because they're disoriented almost a majority of the time, you know. They think they don't know where they are, they don't know who you are, they don't remember their surroundings, they don't recognize anything. And if you were really that disoriented all the time, you would lash out, you would get aggressive, you would act scared, you would act depressed, you'd be upset.
A key thing is having patience and having time. I think setting aside their proper time to take them to appointments to try different medications to see if you can prolong the severity of their Alzheimer's. And then being patient with yourself, being patient with them, and with the workers that help. A lot of times it's easy to get frustrated with the people, with the nurses that have like 20 patients a day with Alzheimer's, trying to get all of them their medication and stuff like that, with the doctors that aren't prescribing the right medication, that are giving the right results that you want to see right away. And just having the patience with time and with them, and understanding that it might not get better, it's probably going to get worse.
I find that telling them that you love them, that you are who you are, and that they are who they are, and keep reminding them that you love them no matter what.
The most important thing to remember when we're dealing with someone with Alzheimer's is to remember to love them, to care for them, and to remember that a lot of things we're not doing for them, we're doing for ourselves, you know, but also for them. I think when we think about the love, you know, it melts our heart, makes us feel better about everything that we're doing. So every day when you're dealing with someone that has Alzheimer's, you have to remember, like every day, every hour, every minute, you know, that person means a lot to you, and you just have to love them for who they are.
The more we know about the disease, better understanding we will have. It will be easier for the person with the disease and the family members, and we'll hopefully one day find a cure for it.
It's still not that traceable, and so it's something that it's really concerning, because you never know if you're going to get it or not, and you don't know what age you're going to get it at. Your cells don't start showing any signs of Alzheimer's until you're usually a lot older. And so I guess one way to raise awareness is by, I guess, advertisement, and advertisement in the sense that making people aware that this isn't something they can ignore. It's not something that's going to go away. If anything, it's going to become worse and worse. So it's a big deal.